Welcome to a quick update and video about a topic that came up due to the recent live letter. Besides the expected content like the announcement of the new Pandemonium raid section coming with patch 6.4, more duty support for Stormblood, changes to frontline PvP and the end of the recent PvP season that is taking place on next Tuesday, there was one thing I literally forgot about. That is Criterion and Variant Dungeons, because Square Enix didn't spend any effort to keep that content alive. However, they announced the second part of it coming in patch 6.45 that kinda hit me as a surprise. So please Team Yoshida turn that content into something that can bridge the gaps for many players. It could be the perfect opportunity to finally have a connection between the super easy casual content and doing extreme trials or savage raids. I might not be speaking for everyone, but I honestly think that the biggest stepping stone for many casuals or players without an active static party are not the lack of motivation or means of being skilled in Final Fantasy XIV, but simply one very important word: time. Variant or Criterion dungeons could easily be that one solution. Yes, you can go into Palace of the Dead content, but the dungeon style is definitely more natural to the Final Fantasy XIV combat system and doesn't feel like a special environment. And don't get me wrong, I absolutely support the idea of taking time off of Final Fantasy XIV when there are content gaps and drought. But why not offering both, especially with the lack of content to sink some free time in like we always had on relic weapons before. The man-level weapons are simply too easy to get and don't offer anything that isn't in the game already, but rather mixing up the tasks you already had to do to get your weekly tomestones capped, or coins from alliance raids, etc. Criterion and Variant Dungeons were actually well received from the gameplay aspect, and I think they offer a very nice alternate version of dungeons that take the whole 4-people party setup to another level. And this is where my criticism comes in. We need rewards for that content. Playing MMOs for over 20 years now, I can absolutely tell you, without at least a single reward being granted, content will feel dull very quickly. Especially when you have a difficulty scaling system and the higher difficulty actually doesn't give you anything. Many players have offered solutions already, so I just hope for Square Enix to listen to them. Bridge the gap between casual content and savage, not only with pets, but why not just granting access to upgrading Pandemonium materials, raid coins, a big pile of sack of nuts, or simply gil that will scale with the difficulty you tackled. My best idea, however, is just to put in the Moogle Tombstone idea and expand this further by spreading the acquisitions onto old relics, Eureka for example, or some stages of Bosnia and Zadnor, due to how tough it is to get into these forms of content now. It's really not that hard. There are so many forms of currency and cool items in this game whose access has been diminished over time, and Criterion and Variant could perfectly serve the purpose of getting people to play the game actively while enjoying it and having something to grind for. I think these three elements are essential aspects of when a game is good, especially in the MMO sector. I mean, combine that with the next stage of the relic weapons, so that the normal version will get you to the finish line and the savage version will open up access to the final stage quicker or just provides a higher item level version of the relic. Or if that feels too much of a casual discrimination, you could give the little extra edge by adding additional material slots. It's insane. I could literally write down a whole 20 pages document of how they could add rewards to their quality contents, and that would easily make players feel rewarded for actively playing the game, while not stressing out those that take a break in the sense of Yoshida's ideology. So please Square Enix, make Criterion become relevant and fun content, where on the second aspect you already succeeded, so now you just have to make it relevant by adding rewards for character progression. Final Fantasy XIV is a sick game with insane potential, but even though your player base loves your product so much already, just take that little extra step to make it even better. In the same way that you bang out these main story masterpieces, music, visual design of fights, and complexity to ultimate content. You are indeed those who walked before, and we want to be those that walk after. So please look forward to it and keep loving Final Fantasy.